All right. Big welcome to this Wednesday webinar featuring TD SYNNEX and Microsoft. Thank you so much for joining us today. The agenda of the day is AI PCs and Copilot Plus PCs, which we will be trying to attempt to get a better view of, a better understanding of, and we will try to break it down as much as possible. My name is Alexander Johansson. I work as a Windows 11 and AI enablement manager at TD SYNNEX in Sweden. And the AI enablement part of it is pretty much what we're going to talk about today, which is the AI PC of it. And just to get a little pointers in for the agenda, if you have any questions, feel free to add them in the Q&A, and we will try to leave as much time as possible at the end of the session to answer all of them. If there are too many to count, we will go through them afterwards and send out all the replies to the attendees. But with me today, I also have Anders from Microsoft.
Hi, so nice of everyone to join us for this event. Maybe some of you also listened to us a couple of weeks ago when we were discussing the Windows 10 end of support thing. But so nice to be here. So I come from Microsoft and I work very tightly with Alexander and TD SYNNEX on talking about these things. I think we are in for some exciting times at the moment, according to me. So hope this will be valuable for you. We will try our best.
Exactly. And with that, Anders, would you like to continue why we're here?
Definitely. Yes. So of course we need to make you aware of this again, that there is a very important date coming up, which is October 14th this year, when Windows 10 will go end of support. So end of support, it means you cannot call us anymore for technical support, but the most important thing is that there will be no more security updates after this date. So it's very important that everyone is aware of this. And of course, when this happens, we of course want to inform everyone that there is this technology change coming, and you need to think about what kind of device you should choose.
Precisely. And that's pretty much why we're here today, to talk about sort of the next generation of computers and of laptops, and there's a lot on the horizon. And to reiterate on what Anders was talking about, just that the Windows support ends for Windows 10 in October 14th this year, and in the Nordics we have about 2.5 million computers that are currently on Windows 10 Pro that don't have the capability to be upgraded to Windows 11. We don't have the physical components on that computer to upgrade it. And that's where this comes in as a really good alternative to what we can do if we have to go out and buy ourselves a new computer. So when we're talking about the AI PC in the next step, as you can see on this slide, we have pretty much every one of the large vendors who are creating these so-called AI PCs, and also a Copilot Plus PC, which we will get into a little later on, just to make sure that you know the difference between them and what differentiates the two. But Lenovo, HP, Microsoft, Dell, Asus, and Acer are all creating these AI PCs. And on the right-hand side, we also have the silicone manufacturers, the processors of the companies, who creates the processor that actually qualifies for something to be an AI PC. And that is Qualcomm with their Snapdragon processors. We have Intel with their Ultra processors, and AMD with their Ryzen Pro, and Ryzen AI models. And that is pretty much the big part of it, of what we can do. But before we just get into the specs of it, something to really look into is that these computers are fairly new. They started releasing AI PCs during last year, so we're not even really, we're close to a year into the first release of it, but we're already at sort of the third wave in this whole process of what an AI PC is and how the development is going. So especially Intel and AMD have already gone on their next step to this. So we have been seeing a release of new processors continually. But speaking of these processors, Anders, maybe you would like to take that into account and tell us what is it that really is an AI PC?
Yes, thank you, Alexander. So I think the differentiator of, when you have an AI PC and what an AI PC is what we see here on the screen, an NPU. So it's a part of modern processors that take care of all AI-related tasks. So when you have a PC that has a processor with an NPU, then you have an AI PC. But why? Why should I have an NPU? Well, AI is coming into our daily life more and more. And to be honest, especially the CPU that we are very, has been around for years and years, that is not really made for taking care of the AI-related tasks. The GPU, yes, that can take care of some of the AI-related tasks. But with the NPU, you have the chance to handle AI directly on your device. We must remember this, just like you were saying, Alexander, that up until a year and a half ago, there were hardly no NPUs on Windows devices. So all AI was handled in the cloud or in data centers. But with NPU, we can handle this. And I think a lot of people start seeing this now when they're using more and more AI, that if you have a PC without an NPU, you might experience that your PC is kind of doing the wrong things. And AI, it can be something simple as your background blur in your Teams meeting, or it can be a very sophisticated, AI task also. But AI is there. And I think all of us, we need to learn this, that, a PC is no longer just, a CPU, hard drive, RAM memory, and so on. We also need to start considering the NPU in it. And with that comes also a new term for describing how fast an NPU is. And that's the TOPS that is on the bottom here, trillions of operations per second, which is really, really fast. I don't know, Alexander, do you have some way of describing how fast it is?
Yeah, I could do that. I do love that you continue to stay on your end of it, but it's just really, really fast. But yes. Just to get a comprehension of it is, for example, if I look at a piece of paper and I see that it's 2 + 2 is written, I immediately know that I can write 4, and that is one operation which I do in about a second. That's one. So here we're talking 20, 30, 40, 50 trillions of those operations in the same second. So it's a lot that can be handled through this NPU. And there are so many different factors of it. Anders talked about the AI in it, and that is the main factor of it. But it also means that we can handle a lot of other stuff that has AI embedded to it, or just anything that needs a high volume of power. For instance, security updates. This is something that it can handle, on some computers. If they have if there are a couple of years old, we don't have maybe the RAM that it needs or the power that it needs. If you do big security updates, if you have to search through a lot of stuff, that could take up maybe 20, 30, 40% of the CPU, and that makes it a lot of times almost impossible to do some actual work on the computer at the same time. So that is something that can be divided onto the NPU, which means that you can carry on with your daily work as usual, because you don't even notice it. The fans doesn't even kick in. And speaking of that, an example of it, of how it actually works when we have an NPU that is designed to handle something that is AI based, compared to the CPU and the GPU. And Anders, would you like to explain what happens on this slide?
Definitely. So this is, we at Microsoft developed an AI program that should identify individual faces in a video stream. And as you can see, the NPU, it goes like a clock, identifying the individual faces. While the GPU and CPU, it's not as clock-like, so to say, and the fan starts working. And the reason is exactly what we have been talking about, Alexander. The NPU, it does what it is made to do. While the GPU and CPU, they are actually trying to do something that they are not developed to handle. So I think this is a pretty good illustration of it. Then on the other hand, you were saying 2 + 2. The same goes for, the CPU is great at calculating in an Excel sheet what 2 × 2 is. That is what it's made to do, but it's not made to identify these kind of things. This shows the difference between it.
Exactly. And the thing that we're talking about here, Anders named it earlier, that when we have an NPU, it takes away the power and the pressure from the CPU and the GPU. But as we're talking about AI, it has been mainly cloud-based. So we can get it from the cloud. You just need a good internet connection, and you can handle most stuff on any type of computer. But the difference and the shift that we see right now is maybe from, if we talk about when ChatGPT first was released, and then all these other programs like Microsoft's Copilot for M365 was released, it sort of made us want to talk about an AI strategy with our end customers, and how do I take this dialogue with my customer, and how do we get them to understand, or how do we understand how to take this dialogue with them? What is the next step? Where do we go? What do we implement? In this case, both with the NPU and where all of these different manufacturers and companies are going, we don't turn the AI strategy upside down, but we sort of reboot it to a place where all of these companies, like you see, for example, here, we only have 10 examples here, but there are hundreds and hundreds of more that actually implement AI functions and AI features into their software. And these are the softwares that we use on a daily basis, such like Adobe, McAfee, maybe CrowdStrike. There are a lot of them that use it. Microsoft, not only with the Copilot function, are adding it into our day-to-day apps, like Teams, for example, are getting some extra features in this. And that is, when we do that, we have to turn it around to look at, okay, do I have the physical device to actually handle this? Because now maybe I'm not always working in the cloud or through the cloud with my internet-based setup, because a lot of it is local. That means we need a computer that can handle it. And that is where the NPU actually enters into the equation. So This is where we are today, but within a year or maybe shorter, we will see way more companies, and especially software companies, create these AIs or implement the AI functionalities directly into the software that we are already using. So we need to be ready. We need to be prepared to move on to that level, so we can actually use the software in the way it's intended and get the best out of it, both for ourselves and for the software that is actually rolling on our computers.
And I think if I can add something, Alexander, I think up until very recently, it was kind of a company could decide that, yes, we will be using AI or not. But we are at the stage where AI will just be there. So the AI functionality will come into play. Because, for example, Adobe is implementing it. So then with still my Copilot for M365, it's still a choice to pay $30 per user and month, definitely. But in a lot of software, it will not be a choice. It will just be there, so to say.
Right. And let's stay with you, Anders, and break this down.
Yes, so this is how we at Microsoft see the segmentation of PCs today. It's in 3 different categories, and the one to the left here are then the non-NPU devices. This is also something that really shows how fast this is going, because just like you were saying, Alexander, the NPU on a Windows device is a pretty new thing. So if you look back like a year and a half ago, the non-NPU devices was actually our entire PC segment. So things are moving fast, and we really need to be aware that these AI PCs are coming. And then if we split it down even more, the one in the middle and the one to the right, yes, they are both AI PCs. So as long as you have an NPU, then you have an AI PC. But we have also, we at Microsoft have identified, or not identified, we have taken this segment called Copilot Plus PC. But just to be clear, the one in the middle, the AI PCs, where we're talking about tops, Alexander, and you were mentioning how fast it really goes. If you are in the middle arena and have an AI PC, currently you have between 12 and 16 tops, I would say. Basically, yeah, between 12 and 16 tops. The difference comes when you take the step to a Copilot Plus PC, because then you bump it up to 40 tops immediately. And maybe we should change to the next slide, if I'm not... Yes, because if we then look at the Copilot Plus PC as a specific segment, first of all, I know that we call everything Copilot at Microsoft. And I just want to be clear that Copilot is the name for everything that is related to AI from us at Microsoft. But we never call anything just Copilot, even though I keep saying it sometimes. But either there's a Copilot for M365, there's Copilot for Azure, Copilot for Dynamics, and then we have Copilot Plus PC, which is its own segment of very fast and secure PCs. And what we have said is that in order for something to be called a Copilot Plus PC, you must have an NPU that delivers at least 40 tops. You must also have a RAM memory of 16 gigabytes or above, and you should also have hard drive storage of at least 256 gigabytes. If you have that, then this PC will get a stamp, a Copilot Plus PC stamp, which means that, yes, it is a very fast, intelligent, and secure AI PC. And we, of course, have done this together with Qualcomm, AMD, Intel, and we're also looking at on how to do this with NVIDIA going forward.
Exactly. I just want to jump back to the slide we had before here, and just to get a sense of it, because we're talking about these steps and how we can ramp up everything and go to the next level. And we know it's not just a click of the button and we're there. It's a process, just like going from Windows 10 to Windows 11 could be a big process. And here we're talking about on the first slide, on the first one to the left, when we're talking about a non-NPU, the difference here is just going from Windows 10 to Windows 11, which a lot of things happen in the background, especially with the security and productivity and how much faster it is and how much secure it is. It just works a lot better, and there's a lot of function that has been happening behind the curtains in this. But the step up when we're talking about AI PCs is, even though, of course, we want to see you take the big step, take it up to the Copilot Plus PC, because it opens up a lot of opportunities. But if we're looking to get into the opportunities to use AI, to have a device that can handle it with an NPU, I mean, the middle section is a broad section, and we can even say today, you said between 12 and 16, that is usually where we happen in the tops. But there are also a few that are in the 20s, like 25 tops as well. But only if we start at 11 or 12 NPUs, that computer in itself is at least twice as strong as any laptop that is from 2019, 2020, 2021, somewhere around there, with the regular 8 or 16 gigabyte RAM. So it is a big step up, and we're talking about a major performance boost. And also, this is a huge part of looking at sustainability as well. These computers are made, both the AI PCs and the Copilot Plus PCs are made to last for a very, very long time. And we're talking about battery life, which has been increased to a huge level. On the best case scenarios, we're talking about 3 full working days without ever having to charge your computer. And that in itself, where we can go offline, we can use AI offline because we have an NPU directly on the computer. That also means that the computer itself will last for way, way longer. And then we're talking about a big sustainability point, but also the secondhand value of these computers. That is a huge step now, because if you're looking to buy a computer that doesn't have an NPU today, when you try to resell that one, it won't even be close to the secondhand value that a computer with an NPU, because that is where the IT business sort of has shifted. That is where they're going. All these silicone manufacturers and all the other manufacturers like Microsoft, like Lenovo, HP, Dell, Asus, Acer, they're all moving in this direction. So just to look at it, it's a big step towards getting a sort of a circular IT that works for you, both financially and for sustainability and for performance, and you name it, all the buzzwords you can think of. This is the direction which this business is moving. So that is a huge, huge thing to consider and to take into consideration when you're talking to your customers about this.
And I think also there is a perception that it's a pretty high price interval between a non-NPU and an AI PC. But it isn't. Of course, it's different from brand to brand and so on, and also depending on what other specs you have. But I would say in general, it's maybe €150 difference in price between a non-NPU and an entry-level AI PC. And I would say as we go along and have the AI coming in more and more, I think it's a big step to go from not having any tops to having 12 tops, then going from 12 tops to 40 tops. Because as you get into AI and that will come in, you will see that you will need something to take care of that workload.
Precisely. And if we jump on to the next one, this is your baby, Anders. So I'll let
this
let
is
you
my baby.
take this one away.
No, so besides that, the Copilot Plus PC is fast and secure and intelligent, you also get some added value in Windows. And to be perfectly honest, I think we at Microsoft have been pretty poor at communicating this. But what you get, for example, what you get right now, if you have a device with the Copilot Plus PC stamp on it, is that you get those in the top row. For example, there's more. But you get the preview on recall, for example, which is a new way of searching for old documents or documents you have been working on previously. You also get more filters and effects in Windows Studio Effects, and we all sit in so many Teams meetings, so you need to look good in them. Live captions is another example where right now it translates from more than 40 languages into English. Of course, we're trying to expand that it will translate into more languages than English. And you might say, hey, but I already have this in Teams. Well, this is in Windows. So you can actually use it in a Zoom meeting, God forbid, also to get the translation. And I think what you must think of here is that this is updates that comes through your Windows update. So you more or less get them without knowing it. Then, if you are an IT administrator and you don't want people to use live captions or recall, yes, you can say no to it. So you can, as an administrator, go in and don't have your resources using recall, for example. But also, it's not like it's a list of 15 features or 15 apps you get. We keep adding more and more. And as you can see on the bottom row, there are coming features for M365, for Teams, Defender, and so on that will be added. And you will get these through Windows Update if you have a Copilot Plus PC. So don't forget that it's not just about speed and battery life and so on. It's also about this. One thing that I think we forgot to mention, Alexander, or that I forgot to mention is actually when you have an NPU or a Copilot Plus PC, you actually lower your emissions because of the NPU that makes sure that the correct component in your PC takes care of the right things. You actually have a longer battery life, but it also reduces how much energy you are using because the PC will optimize usage of it. If you have your CPU trying to do AI related stuff, then it will really need to work and it will use more energy. So that's something worth pointing out also regarding these fantastic devices.
Right. That's a very good point to have on all these. We also have something that we pretty much always talk about when there's something new or something innovative and something that is released to take us to the next level. And in this case, it's just potential uses. That is always something that we have to talk about when there's something new on the market and where can we actually apply this. And this is maybe more of a general AI setup. I think we've seen these throughout the last few years when the dialogue has only been AI and AI and AI and a little bit more AI on that. It's a never-ending story, and it's not going to go away. But what we can see here, if we really break it down, is just all the different places that we can add this into our day-to-day work. And there are so many options where we can apply having a computer with an NPU in it that affects everything for the better. And a lot of it has to do with security. Security is a major part of all of this because every security company, every software company that has something to do with IT security is implementing AI on one or other level. So we need to be able to process that through our devices where we're actually using it. So it is a lot in public safety. It is any type of threat protection that we're using, but it's also a physical sort of protection as well. We've gotten into more and more about talking about having security cameras around on properties, and that is also something that can be developed through and getting a higher resolution, more security, larger high end when it comes to the actual resolve of what is actually happening with the data that is on these cameras and how we interact with them, and that it's also something that we need a device that can handle. But as you can see in all of these examples, we're talking about education, it's in finance, it's in legal, it's any type of field service technicians. There are so many different possibilities for this, and we've been talking about it. If you want to use any type of stuff that is offline, that is the option we have here of using AI in an offline mode. So you can be out on a boat in the middle of the sea, you can be in the middle of the forest with no coverage of anything, and you can still have the opportunity and ability to use AI. But that is also a security part of it as well, because if you're going offline and maybe you open up an attached document or anything that you've had on your computer and you're not connected to the cloud, that means that it can search through it all, through all the security patches and antiviruses that we have. With an NPU, we can safely open a document offline and make sure that it can handle running through the antivirus offline as well, because otherwise your computer gets contaminated in that case. So that's also a sidestep of it if you're using an offline work of it. Anders, anything to add in this sort of segment?
No, not besides that. I mean, this list will just keep increasing, and we, even though it feels like we have been living with this AI for a long time because everybody's talking AI, we have just kind of opened the door slightly. We have not seen the real impact of AI yet, and I want to emphasize that it's not a choice anymore. It will come into more and more software. It's already there, but it will just keep exploding. And I think this is also why we need to have people, if they are, right now thinking of buying a new device, either if it's going from Windows 10 to Windows 11, or maybe your old Windows 11 device need to be replaced. You must stop and think, because I think it's easy to think that, hey, I've been using this i5 model for the last 3 years and it has been working okay, so I will go for an i5 again. No, you need to stop and think, wait, there will come AI into how I am working, and maybe I should consider the Core Ultra 5 instead. That takes care of the AI related tasks. Because if they don't, I'm afraid that you might have a not as good experience the coming 3 or 4 years, because you will kind of notice that your PC is doing not the right thing. And just like you were mentioning, Alexander, the second-hand value of a non-NPU device will not be great in 3 or 4 years. I've been talking to both AMD and Intel, and it's not like I have it in writing from them, but they say to me that, hey, there will not be a processor without NPU very shortly. So the NPU is here to stay, AI is here to stay, and it's not a choice anymore in all instances.
Precisely. And to add on that, of course, we would love to show you some good links and some good examples. And this is pretty much the base of it, the start of it. Just to look up starting with Windows 10 to Windows 11. We have a lot of good links that you can click on. Just get devices calculator to see how much it differs from Windows 10 to Windows 11 and program deployments of how to take the next step. And also something we want to really push for you as a reseller. Something Microsoft has developed that is called Expert Zone. You can get it to expertzone.microsoft.com. I think, if I made this correctly, the link down to the left should be clickable. I'm not going to guarantee that, but it might be. And you can get to that right away. And that is a free of use site that has all these different kinds of trainings and educations. For example, as you can see here, we have several about just Copilot Plus PC, but there's something for everyone, everything that has to do with Microsoft, and these are great. I can say that as sort of an outside party. I have worked for Microsoft in my earlier days, but this is pretty much the first one, if maybe the second one Microsoft has ever produced that isn't annoying or too big or there's too much information. This is very straight up hands-on and is a fantastic tool to use. Like I said, it's free, so please check that out, and you can level up and you can take certifications there as well. It's a really great system to work with.
It is, for sure. I mean, I'm paid to say it, but I've seen a lot of different learning portals and such, but I think this really, it's good. Yeah, so you see the examples here are like 15 and 25 minutes, but as you were saying, Alexander, you can take a full accreditation also. That might take 2.5 hours or something, but we have both the big and the small things, but and not only on Copilot Plus PCs, but on every Microsoft product, more or less.
Yeah. With that, I think we have some time left, so let's check the Q&A. I thought I saw a little playing here. Okay, so we got a question. In regards to determining the NPU tops, if I have an NPU in my system, is there any way I'm able to find how many tops it is producing? Not really in the directly on the device. What you can do is if you go to the search bar and look for system information, you can get which processor you're actually having, and if you just copy that and search that into Google or Bing, you can get any type of information from whether it's Intel or AMD or Qualcomm. They all have that information on their websites. And this is something we're trying to get out worldwide, that we should start showing tops on all type of reseller, both from the direct channel, distributor channel, from resellers. Some have added the tops into it, but as of now, the only way is to just search for that specific processor. But every single silicone manufacturer now has on their website a specification for that. And something we can add in here, since we are from TD Synnex, something that we have right now and what we're working on worldwide is a program that we call Destination AI that fits in very well with this. And this is a huge undertaking that we have been taking the next step into, and we are working through every single channel, whether we're talking about servers, we're talking about devices, we're talking about software and licensing and whatever it might be, anything that has to do with AI. We have started all types of different programs where we want to help you as a reseller and learn all these next steps. So we have something for everyone in this. So please don't hesitate to contact your TD Synnex contact. Contact your contact is where we're at ending up with. So that would be a great opportunity, because this is something that we are really putting a lot of effort and a lot of resources into, because this is where our business is transitioning into. Only one question. All right, that can only mean one of two things. Either we were hyper clear, or we were the complete opposite and just made a mess of it.
No, and I think I can just add that, of course, this is, sometimes confusing with, tops and NPUs and such. But I think it's very important that we take in this information, because we have been living where, a PC is about the CPU and RAM memory and so on, but we must understand that there are these new things that come in that really makes a difference. And they make a difference right now, because right now you can actually choose between a non-NPU and an NPU device. And we just want to make sure that everyone is aware of what they are choosing.
Yeah. Exactly, and we could finish this off by saying, I mean, we mentioned all of these different manufacturers that are creating AI PCs, but a cool thing right now is that we're in the third wave of the silicon-based processors, where they're going. But we are seeing, as of pretty much right now, in the past couple of months and in the coming month, Dell, HP, and Lenovo are all releasing new laptops with the NPUs. Dell is recreating their whole system with renaming everything just to fit in better, to find a more profitable solution for everyone and an easier way to just scale it out. And Lenovo and HP are right there with them, just releasing and creating all these new laptops that are coming out, and pretty much going full out with releasing computers with an NPU instead of going with the non-NPU.
Yeah. We have some new questions. So if will you be able to cover all the amount of computers? So I guess it's about the 3 million devices that are still running Windows 10. Just like you say, Carl, will the supply chain cover this? We have 6 months to go, and I think, I mean, we at Microsoft are talking constantly to Dell, Lenovo, HP about this. And of course, if everyone is going to choose the exact same model, then we will have a problem. But this is also why we're talking to you, because we want, to urge people to not wait until beginning of October to exchange these devices. But if they haven't started, they must really start now. Carl, there could be supply chain shortages, absolutely. What we're trying to do is have an open and steady dialogue on it. But it's also about us talking to everyone about this, making people do the transition now and not everyone the last 2 weeks, more or less.
Very good point, Anders. All right. Any more questions? Nothing coming in now. We're here in case something shows up later on. If there is anything that you guys want to ask around, get a hold of your contact at TD SYNNEX, and Microsoft as well are here to help. So with that, I think we put a lid on this one and let you consider this, think about it, and if there's anything more, we are happy to help, whether it's for internal trainings, or if there are any type of workshop you want to do. If you want to do this type of webinar for your customers, we would love to do that and help. And we actually got a question in there as well while I was talking. Will the OEM PKC still work with Windows 10 after October? So the thing is, with Windows 10, the options that we have is Windows 10 will still run, but it won't have any new updates from October the 14th. So we're talking about security updates and we're talking about feature updates. If you're in a situation where you can't switch out your device or upgrade to Windows 11, if it's in a sort of production line or a robot that can't be shut down, there are options to get extended support, and then you can pay for it per year per device. That's $61 for the first year, $122 for the second year, and $244 for the third year. So the options are there, and Windows 10 will still work after October 14th. It's not going end of life, it's going end of support. So that is a big difference in it. But we do not, under any circumstances, recommend that you still use Windows 10 afterwards, because it will not get any security updates or features. We thank you so much for joining us, for listening in. And you can stay if you want to, if you have any more questions, and we'll try to answer that. But other than that, we hope you have a fantastic Wednesday, and thank you so much again for listening. And I'm going to switch to that slide.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.